All right, we've talked about relative pronouns as the object of a verb. And so let's just have a quick review of this before we move on to different types of adjective clauses. So here we have our two sentences. The man was Mr. Jones, and I saw him. When we combine those two sentences and we use the second sentence as the adjective clause, we get this sentence. The man who I saw was Mr. Jones. Inside here, we have our adjective clause. And we know this is a clause because it has a subject. Let's just put it right here instead. Because it has a subject and it has a verb. The relative pronoun, these words here, our choices are who, whom, or that. And the reason those choices are there is because we're talking about a man. We can choose to leave out the relative pronoun altogether because we already have a subject and a verb in this adjective clause. So these are examples of relative pronouns as the object of a verb. And in your Azar book, these are on page 276. So let's move on now and talk about relative pronouns as objects of prepositions. Here we have a different sentence. She is the woman. I told you about her. Let's just go backwards for a minute. When we look at these sentences here, and we're looking at the object of a verb, here is where we're looking. I saw him. Who did I see? I saw him. So him is the object of the verb saw. So let's flip over to the next board. Here I have she is the woman. I told you about her. Here, you is the object of told, and her is the object of this preposition. So when we create an adjective clause that combines these two ideas, this is how we do it. She is the woman who I told you about. So notice that word about can hang out at the end of the sentence. And then our choices for pronouns are exactly the same as the previous board. Okay, let's hop back. Okay, can you see those there? Maybe I'll just erase this so it's not so crazy. There we go. Okay, so who, whom, that, or nothing. Oops. Who, whom, that, or nothing. Those are the choices. Okay? And here's our clause. One of the strange things in English is that we don't often, in academic writing especially, we don't like to end a sentence with a preposition. So having this word about at the end of the sentence is not a favorite in academic writing. So the way that we fix that is we move the preposition to right here, but then we only have this choice of whom. Okay, so some of you were asking about whom today in class. This is a hard, fast rule for this word whom. If your sentence is, she is the woman about whom I told you, a period at the end there. Okay. We can only combine these two words together. We cannot say about that. Okay. And we cannot say about and then nothing. Okay. So when we're talking about people, whom is our only choice if this is the construction you're going to use. If you're going to leave the preposition at the end of the sentence, then this is your choice. She is the woman who I told you about, whom I told you about, that I told you about, or she is the woman I told you about. If we have a look at a similar sentence, this time we're using a thing instead of a person. The rules are exactly the same, only instead of whom, we have the word which. Okay, so the music was good. We listened to it last night. Okay, so it is an object of to. And here's our adjective clause. The music which we listened to, there it is right there, last night was good. Okay, and again, just as an academic style choice, we often choose to move that move that preposition to begin the clause. The music to which we listened last night was good. And notice what happens in these sentences is that we don't have another to here. Okay? So we can't say the music to which we listened to last night was good. There's only one to in that sentence. Same thing if we hop back here. Okay? She is the woman about whom I told you about. If we have the word about twice in this sentence, then it's incorrect. Okay? So you need to make a choice. Do you want to have it here, or do you want to have it here? Okay? Do you want to have it after the verb, or do you want to have it in front of the relative pronoun? So these ones are relative pronouns as the objects of prepositions. So what I'd like you to do is, on a separate piece of paper, combine these sentences The company is excellent. She works for it. The teacher walked in the classroom. The children were talking about her. I was writing too fast on the board there. Okay, so I will put both of these sentences on Blackboard for you on the announcements page, and I would like you to combine these two sentences as many ways as you can and bring them into class tomorrow. Okay, see you in class.